Before we begin our quiet journey tonight, I invite you to find a comfortable position, perhaps sinking a little deeper into your pillow, letting your shoulders soften, and allowing your breathing to become a little slower, a little quieter. As the world around you fades into stillness, tonight, we will take a slow, peaceful walk through the quiet halls and sunlit courtyards of the ancient libraries of Alexandria. Not just the great library itself, but the smaller libraries, the study rooms, the gardens, the forgotten corners where scholars once whispered ideas, and where scrolls rested quietly in the scent of papyrus and cedar oil. This is not a dramatic tale, just a soft, gentle imagining of what everyday life might have felt like in the great learning city of the ancient world. So whenever you're ready, let your mind travel with me to Alexandria, long, long ago.
Arriving in Alexandria, the moment you step into ancient Alexandria, the world feels different. The air is warm, but softened by a breeze from the Mediterranean, carrying hints of salt, and perhaps a faint echo of waves rolling against the great harbor walls. The streets are wide, lined with pale limestone buildings that catch the early light and glow softly in warm shades of cream and gold. Artisans open their small shops for the morning, sweeping dust from their thresholds. Merchants adjust awnings of faded linen. The city is alive, but never rushed. There is a sense of quiet order, as if Alexandria knows her importance and doesn't need to prove it. You walk slowly toward a district where the sound of the city becomes gentler. Students pass you in groups, speaking softly in Greek and Egyptian. Scribes carry bundles of scrolls tied with twine. A librarian in a simple white robe makes his way toward a courtyard, his sandals tapping lightly on polished stone. You are entering the intellectual heart of the ancient world, and the calmness of the place seems to welcome you, like a cool shade from the midday sun. The outer courtyard of the great library. As you approach the outer courtyard of the library complex, the first thing you notice is the stillness. Even with people moving through the space, there is a quiet dignity, a hush, like the atmosphere of a peaceful sanctuary. The courtyard is broad and open, with smooth stone tiles beneath your feet, and tall columns rising like pale trees around the edges. Between them, flowering shrubs and low fig trees offer speckles of shade, and a faint sweet fragrance. A few students sit beneath the trees, unrolling scrolls to review simple lessons. Basic geometry, a little philosophy, historical notes written in careful script. You hear the gentle scratch of a reed pen, the quiet murmur of two scholars debating something light, perhaps the tides, or the origin of a certain plant. Nothing is rushed, nothing is dramatic. It is a place built for lingering, for thinking slowly, for letting ideas drift like leaves on still water. A librarian notices you and offers a small nod, a welcome without words. Entering the great library, stepping through the main doorway, the temperature shifts slightly, cooler, comforting, like entering a shaded room after a sunlit walk. The hall is vast, but not overwhelming. Light filters through high openings in the ceiling, casting soft pools of brightness that drift across the marble floor. The air smells faintly of papyrus, mixed with cedar oil used to preserve the scrolls. It is a clean, dry scent, quiet, like the memory of old books. Shelves line the walls, not shelves as you know them today, but niches and compartments, where scrolls rest in bundles, each wrapped carefully with small tags to identify their contents. Rows of stone tables fill the center of the room. A few scholars sit at them, some reading slowly, others writing notes with deliberate strokes. There is no rush, no urgency. Ideas unfold at their own pace. And here, you are simply another quiet presence among many who have walked this hall, seeking understanding. A librarian passes by, his sandals whispering softly across the floor. He carries a bundle of scrolls against his chest, texts waiting to be copied or catalogued. He places them gently on a table, as if laying a sleeping child to rest.
The scribe's room. You continue deeper into the library, where the gentle sound of writing becomes clearer. This is the scribe's room, a long hall filled with simple wooden desks, and the faint rhythmic scratching of reed pens on papyrus. Scribes sit in rows, backs straight, hands steady. Some copy philosophical treatises, others draw diagrams, or rewrite old scrolls, damaged by time. No one speaks loudly. If words are exchanged at all, they are murmured, barely above a whisper. The room smells of ink, a mixture of soot, resin, and plant gum. The scent is earthy and calming, like the deep smell of rain on stone. You pass slowly between the desks, not wanting to disturb the concentration around you. A young scribe smiles politely before returning to his work, carefully shaping each letter, as if crafting something sacred. A teacher at the far end of the room reviews the work of a student, gently correcting a curve of the script, with a soft tone, almost soothing in its patience. Time here moves differently. Each line of text is a small meditation. Each scroll is a quiet offering to history. The Gardens of Learning. A side passage leads you into one of the library's small inner gardens. A place where scholars walked when they needed fresh air or gentle inspiration. The garden is enclosed, but open to the sky above. Vines climb the surrounding walls, and the soft trickle of a fountain echoes through the space. There are stone benches beneath olive trees, and you see an elderly scholar sitting with a scroll open on his lap, though he seems to be reading more with his thoughts than with his eyes. Two students practice reciting a small poem, their voices low and melodic. Birds hop across the ground, pecking lightly at fallen figs. A warm, lazy breeze moves through the leaves, carrying the subtle smell of herbs, mint, basil, and a plant used for calming the mind. During long study, you sit for a moment on one of the benches, feeling the stone cool beneath your hand. It is a place designed not just for study, but for peace. The Hall of Maps and Science. Your path leads you next to a quieter wing, where scrolls on geography, astronomy, and early science are kept. Here, the shelves hold diagrams of stars, drawn centuries before telescopes existed. There are maps of the known world, some accurate, some speculative, all fascinating. A scholar at one table uses a simple tool to calculate distances between imagined ports, moving slowly, methodically. Another compares two scrolls, whose authors disagreed about the shape of a particular coastline. Yet even in their disagreements, the work feels gentle, a soft conversation across time. A globe sits in one corner, made of smooth wood, its surface painted with faded colors. It is not correct by modern standards, but that does not matter. It represents curiosity, care, and patient exploration. And in this quiet hall, you feel a similar curiosity awakening within you. Softly, without urgency. Evening in the library. The sun begins to lower, casting longer shadows through the high windows. The great library does not close abruptly. It simply slows down. Students finish their reading and quietly roll their scrolls. Scribes put away their ink pots. Librarians walk through the halls, checking that everything is in its proper place. The air grows cooler, and someone lights a few small oil lamps, not for bright illumination, but for a warm, gentle glow that softens every edge and slows every thought. You walk once more through the central hall, noticing how the fading light turns the marble floor a shade of deep honey. A final breeze wafts through the doorway, bringing with it the scent of seawater and the muted sounds of the city settling into night. You realize that Alexandria, like the library itself, knows how to rest, drifting towards sleep. As you leave the library, you step into a courtyard, now touched by the colors of twilight, lavender, peach, and the deepening blue of night. A few remaining scholars stroll slowly toward their homes. Nobody hurries, nobody raises their voice. The day is ending, exactly as it began, calmly, with quiet purpose. You pause for a moment, letting the cool air settle around you, listening to the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft calls of distant birds, finding their resting places. Your mind feels slower now, warmer, quieter. The knowledge held in the library feels like a calm sea, deep and steady, without waves. And as you walk away from the great doors, you feel yourself becoming part of the same peaceful rhythm. A final breeze carries the faint scent of papyrus, a reminder of the halls you explored and the gentle wisdom they contained. The city dims, your thoughts soften, and the world grows still, as if encouraging you to let go and drift into restful sleep. Good night, and may your dreams be as calm as the quiet libraries of ancient Alexandria.